If you're like me, you've been amazed at what AI can do, what they can do with it, how they can put words in people's mouths, how kids are using it to cheat in high school. I mean, it just goes on. And then this report comes out from the State Department earlier this year that they think it could pose an extinction-level threat to humans. This is the State Department Commission report, and that the U.S. must start setting guidelines on this. So we know about all those issues. What about jobs that might go away or never be created because of AI? I think it's an interesting concept here as we look for whatever the road markers might be, the guidelines on the road for AI as we move forward. We have Matt Rosen with us. He's the CEO and co-founder of Aleda. It's a technology consulting firm that's been helping companies kind of chart their way through AI. Matt, welcome in.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to, like, I talk for a living. Clearly, AI can recreate my voice and make me say things I didn't say. But for the most part, I don't see AI as an immediate threat to talk radio. But that's not the case for a lot of industries, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I don't see AI replacing you or any of the other great talk radio hosts. I think AI could help make you come up with some new and interesting concepts. In fact, I had this conversation with another radio host the other day of, hey, if you uploaded all the content you ever had into AI and, ask it, what haven't I talked about, or give me some new ideas based on which interviews went really well. I think AI can really be a tool to help aid what you're doing. But there definitely are, with every technology revolution, there are jobs that go away and jobs that get created. And this revolution with AI is no different. AI is a tool. It needs input from humans, and actually data is the differentiator. What you feed it is what makes your outputs different, because right now it just has access to the internet and whatever's out there. And so those that learn to use it are going to be really successful. I've got a saying that AI is not coming for your job, but someone using AI is coming for your job.
Yeah, well, it's a good point. Maybe what are some of the industries at risk? Is that the proper word, at risk? I don't know.
Yeah, it is. I would say, call center agents that are doing basic level tasks like helping people reset their passwords and answering simple questions. I mean, those have been at risk for years. I would say, probably paralegals, anyone who's doing lots of research and coming up with insights. But here's the thing, AI is wrong a lot of the time, and it requires a human to check it. I mean, I'm seeing AI being used for really good in like drug development and life sciences. They're finding cures to diseases faster based on, their AI's ability to scan lots of information and do research. So there's a lot of, areas and fields where AI is going to really enhance things and make it better for all of us. And so I'm an optimistic guy, but, I run a technology consulting firm. A lot of what we do is write code, and AI can write code now. And so my developers are having to get way more proficient in using tools to help them write code faster versus what they used to do just a couple months ago. And the crazy thing is these models are getting faster and faster every day. In fact, the technology is moving much faster than humanity's ability to embrace it and use it.
Yes. So what happens when AI writes code that benefits AI?
Yeah, it's an interesting proposition. But here's the thing. AI only knows what we give it. I mean, you can have AI models talk back and forth, and I think that's the threat you talked about, is when does AI become smart enough to take us all out? Skynet takes over the world. I don't see that happening in the next 20 to 30 years. Is it a possibility down the road? Potentially. OpenAI is working on an AI reasoning model. It's a theory that's been around since, I think, the late 80s, early 90s, and I think what you're seeing is we've never had compute power like we do today, and that's why a lot of these AI theories that have been around since the 1950s are starting to come to life. These ideas aren't new. We just now have the power to bring them to life.
Well, if someone named John knocks on your door and tells you need to be concerned, then, that's when we go back and watch Terminator again, I guess.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, I'm watching this thing. I think, you tell me if I'm wrong, because you're in the business. I think people would be shocked at how much online content they're currently consuming, social media and websites, that is already AI generated. I'm stunned. My wife showed me an example of this the other day where there's, you can go into Chat GPT and tell it to create a paragraph on certain subject, and what it writes often gets published on web pages, right?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. If you go into the free Chat GPT or Gemini models, whatever it outputs, it continues to keep in its memory and learns from. And whether it's X or Meta or any of these sites, a lot of what's out there is AI generated. And so I think one of the things we need to be thinking about is how do we, regulate it? How do we have AI, have some sort of watermark so we know that it actually came from an AI? In fact, then you have AI models that can help detect when AI is being used. But it's pervasive, and it has been. If you ever get a fraud alert from your bank,
Yes.
that's usually AI generated. Siri and Alexa, those are some lower level types of AI. So it's already all around us. So all we can really do is embrace it, learn how to use it, and stay ahead and educated on what it's going to do for society. It's a really interesting time. And so what we do as an organization is really help companies look across the landscape and figure out, okay, where do we need to use it? Where do we not need to use it? And how do we start embracing it? Because it's here, and those that embrace it are going to be the ones that are successful tomorrow.
That's a good point. Matt Rosenwood, the CEO and founder of Aleta. How can people find out more about your company?
Yeah, we've got a website, www.aleta.com, and there's a whole page on artificial intelligence and some of the work we've done. You can also look me up on LinkedIn, Matt Rosen, Aleta, and I would love to hear from anyone who's interested in learning more. Thanks for having me on the show this morning.
You bet, Matt. Thank you for your time.